Some of you guys have been asking us to make a video concerning the Apple Watch Series 6 that we should be expecting this fall, and the reason we waited so long to make this video is because there weren't really any good leaks and rumors out there until now. So in this video, I'm going to discuss the expected announcement date, the release date, all of the leaks and rumors we currently have, which features you should expect, and whether or not you should actually wait for the Series 6 instead of just buying a different Apple Watch right now. Let's first try and figure out when we should expect it to get released. Apple has already announced that the 2020 iPhones will launch a few weeks later than usual. Now this is very vague because it could be 3 weeks or it could be 5 weeks, but I think it would be a mistake to wait too long. And this is very important because Apple always releases their new Apple Watch updates alongside their new iPhones. Twitter leaker Komiya initially posted that the Series 6 would be available to order on September 8th, a Wednesday, which assumes that's the day of the September event, and then it would ship on September 18th, which is the following Friday. But a few days later, he then said that the event might not happen on the 8th, but he's sure that it won't be in October. However, Jon Prosser, another leaker, mentioned that he thinks the iPhone 12 announcement will actually happen in October, so things seem a bit uncertain at this moment. He seems to think that they'll go on sale in mid-October, so this would mean that the event could take place on October 6th or the 7th, with the shipping date of October 16th for the Apple Watch Series 6. I personally wouldn't expect it to be any later than that, because Apple is also rumored to be having a special event for their new Apple Silicon Macs, and that's dated for October 27th. So Apple wouldn't want those events too close to each other. But there's also the chance that Apple will host the iPhone event sometime in September and then simply delay the ship dates out into October. So it's a bit of a toss-up right now. Now getting into all of the leaks we currently have right now, there's rumored to be an AirPower Mini for $99 and the full version of AirPower for $249, which will be announced alongside the Apple Watch Series 6. And Jon Prosser has mentioned that Apple finally got the Apple Watch to work with the AirPower wireless charging mat, so that's definitely reassuring. And according to Komiya, the AirPower Mini will be available sooner, with the large AirPower shipping at the end of the year. Now getting into Apple Watch specific leaks, some iOS 14 code leaked in March, pointing to Apple working on a new blood oxygen monitoring feature. This is a very big deal because a lot of businesses right now are requiring people to wear a mask, and these obviously make it harder to breathe, or else they wouldn't be doing anything. So essentially, your Apple Watch Series 6 will tell you when your blood oxygen level is dropping, letting you know if you should go outside, take off your mask, and get some fresh air. And by the way, we actually sell high-quality Apple product powder masks that are made in the USA. They're very soft and comfortable, and you can find them in our merch shelf just below this video in both black and in white. Very recently, DigiTimes reported that Apple will add this feature to the Apple Watch Series 6. They mentioned that the new model will feature updated biosensors that detect blood oxygen, greatly improve sleep monitoring, and it will incorporate an MEMS-based accelerator and gyroscope, which should be much more accurate for precise measurements for things like working out and step monitoring. So as you guys know from Apple's WWDC event, Apple is adding sleep tracking to watchOS 7. Now my brother Max tested the beta version and he said it's very limited and it doesn't work very well right now. So it would make sense that the new sensors in the Series 6 Apple Watch will greatly improve sleep tracking. Now he also said that battery life was an issue because it obviously requires your watch to be on at night. So we should expect Apple to work on improving the battery life for the Series 6. Just a couple of days ago, a 303.8 mAh battery was leaked, which should be destined for the new Apple Watch. The current Series 5 has a 296 mAh battery, so there definitely is an improvement there. Now don't expect the Apple Watch itself to get thicker, because Apple did remove Force Touch in the upcoming watchOS 7 update, so that means they have more room for a larger battery. Komiya also tweeted showing that same battery size as we saw in that leak, but he also included two other battery sizes, presumably for the smaller 40mm size and a model with cellular. Now, as far as the performance, an app developer who has access to Apple's developer transition kit for the switch to Apple Silicon found new code that points to new Apple chips, including an S6 chip for the Apple Watch. And since we know that Apple's upcoming iPhones and Apple Silicon Macs are going to be built using TSMC's new 5nm process, we can expect the S6 chip to be even more efficient, leading to the same great performance while getting better battery life, which will help with sleep tracking. Way back in November of 2019, Ming-Chi Kuo stated that he believes the Apple Watch Series 6 will come with a new liquid crystal polymer flexible circuit board that'll improve performance, water resistance, and wireless transmission, which will help with both Wi-Fi and cellular speeds. And in August of 2019, Apple filed for a patent to enable their Apple Watch to come with a new antenna array that would allow for a larger range of cellular frequencies, basically pointing to Apple working on a 5G Apple Watch. Now, since Apple is releasing 5G iPhones this year, there's a chance that we could get a 5G Apple Watch. But honestly, I think it's a bit too early because it's going to negatively impact battery life, and 5G hasn't really seen wide implementation yet. Way back in July of 2019, some sources claim that the new Apple Watch Series 6 could come with a micro LED display. However, leaker Love to Dream claimed that the Series 6 will actually continue using the same display as the Series 5, so it's definitely a toss-up. But in my personal opinion, since the iPhone 12 is getting a new square edge design and the Apple Silicon Macs are coming later this year, it would make sense for Apple to change up the exterior look or design a bit to entice users to upgrade, since the Series 5 only had minimal changes. Now, there was somebody who found some new code in iOS 14 beta, showing slimmer bezels compared to before, and the removal of the side button, which could be switched to using a static haptic button instead of an actual protruding button. This change would also help with water resistance. This could also match up to a rumor back in March that Apple is adding a Touch ID fingerprint sensor to the Apple Watch Series 6, which would work perfectly in place of the current side button. Now, if Apple did truly slim the bezels of the display once again, that change alone, with the new biosensors, might be enough for a lot of people to upgrade. So with all of those leaks and rumors out of the way, let's talk about whether you should wait for the Series 6 or not. Well, since we're only a month or two away, I would definitely suggest waiting unless you absolutely need a watch right now. And you also have to ask yourself, how much does blood oxygen monitoring and sleep tracking matter to you? And if not much, then ask yourself how important the possibility of a slightly slimmer display is to you. And finally, we should be expecting a pretty decent battery life improvement, so if that by itself will make the Series 6 worth it for you, then you should definitely wait. But if you think the Series 5 does everything you currently need it to do, and you're not that excited for the new features, then I would consider picking up a Series 5 right now. The only downside is that there really aren't many great sales going on, with the best price looking like $409 on Amazon, about $20 off for the 44mm model. And I honestly don't think that the price will go up much on the Series 6, maybe a maximum of $50, or it might even have the same price. So based on that, if you can wait, then absolutely wait for the Series 6. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and tap the like button and click the circle above to subscribe. And definitely be sure to check out our Apple product masks down in the merch shelf below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.